Alright, so it's currently Monday night, and here's Tower Defense Simulator. It's currently at 6,000 players, which, isn't great, but that's pretty average for Monday night, when a lot of people are going to sleep earlier, getting ready for school or whatnot. TDX, on the other hand, is basically a whole 1,000 players lower. Now, this is actually really interesting to me for a reason, and this is because TDX, not only is it a brand new game, but, it just got an update 1 day ago. It was this worship here. Now, granted, it probably doesn't mean much to anyone because, almost nobody's level 100. But still, though, for such a considerably new game, which in its first weeks was absolutely destroying TDS in player count, it's quite strange to see it already be below TDS. Now, why do I think that is? Right? Everything seemed uphill. People were so excited for a quote-unquote fresh air. But again, pretty clearly, it isn't going so well. That doesn't exactly just happen. You don't have a game just completely lose a majority of its player count within the first month. I think I'm gonna just cut to the chase here. I think the reason for that is probably due to overhype. Again, the game was awaited for over a year and was constantly advertised by John Roblox, who is an absolutely massive content creator. Who doesn't know John Roblox? You get what I'm saying? And even though there's nothing inherently wrong with this game, it still doesn't have exactly the most bright future looking to it. It's kind of a little something like Tower Blitz. That game was just so amazing. It's gotten 10k players before. So the game isn't struggling because it, in and of itself, is doing something wrong. It just didn't deliver a game that could retain players all that well. I mean, take a second to compare. Look at the amount of towers in TDX. And with this 2 upgrade path system, which is just more complicated, I think it just appeals to less people. TDX didn't start off as its own unique game. It started off as a combination of many different games. It plays kinda how TDS does with, well, just enemies and towers. I guess as any other tower defense game. The double upgrade system has already been seen in Bloons Tower Defense and also Tower Blitz. And a lot of the tower concepts are exactly the same. Shotgunner, we've seen that. We've seen this. We've seen a minigun guy. We've seen a DJ. If you think about it, TDX kinda is just regurgitating what already existed as something new. So it's not exactly one of a kind, and for players who have especially a lot of progress in a game like TDS, this is probably not different enough for them to want to lose all their progress and start over. And that's kind of what puts Tower Defense Simulator in a really good situation. They've been around for so long, people have so much progress in that game, they kind of get their player retention, well, for that reason. So yes, even though that is kind of the main point, that TDS is just simpler and has a better retention, that doesn't mean TDX is exactly doomed. I'm not exactly trying to say here, don't play TDX, because, it's going to be the exact same thing as TDS, and you're going to get nothing out of it. Just play the original game that has more devs, and they have more experience. I actually think if TDX plays their cards right, they can actually pull back ahead. But it's definitely going to be hard now, because, well, with the existence of TDX, TDS now has to actually, work on updates, try and release good stuff, so they can't just go 8 months without updates. Because then they are going to start losing players to TDX, because TDX has been and will, for the foreseeable future, be updating pretty frequently, every 2 weeks or so. And there's still so many things in the work for TDX. I think it's just a matter of time before TDX comes up with something for the long run, I should say, that'll help out the game a lot. I don't know, it could be something like PvP, or maybe some entirely new game mode that we just haven't seen in any other tower defense game. Only example I can give is maybe something like boss modes in Bloons Tower Defense 6, where it's just a really different way of playing the game that is really fun. Because it is actually really fun to switch things up once in a while. But all you can do is hope. We really don't know the plans of either TDX or TDS in the far future. And who knows, maybe the new mode that was promised in TDS will be something just like that. Something so unique and different that it just brings back all kinds of players from all different skill levels, because it's something everyone can enjoy. Don't know exactly what that could be, but man, that would be so exciting. And as for TDS, well, what more do I have to say? They need to do the exact same thing I just said about TDX, except the difference is that they already have this kind of player buffer of these players who have so much progress in their game that they aren't just going to switch for any reason. So what do you think then? What do these two games really need? What does TDX need in order to pull ahead? And what does TDS need in order to satisfy the players the most they possibly can? I just lost with a full power. Well, okay, then I guess that's the video. So again, leave the comment, like, subscribe, use star code E, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Goodbye.